This is Shy Guy Travel, and this is my good friend Tony Dillon.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're going to be talking to some people who perhaps were thinking about coming to China before the coronavirus, and now are perhaps thinking about what they want to do after things get better. In a lot of countries, lockdown is being lifted. Life is slowly getting back to normal. And you're probably thinking about, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And what we're here to do, we're here to convince you that China is still should be on your list of possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Judging from our experience here, we can tell you a lot more about it and we can answer any questions. And it's not necessarily to convince you, it's just to show you that, you know, there's no need for you to shy away from the challenge now that you wanted prior to the virus. Don't let this change your plans, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. As with everything, I'm not telling anybody what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not all about that life, but what I hope to do is kind of take away some of those unknowns and perhaps help you overcome some of the obstacles if you do want to go, but you're still a little bit unsure, which I've been doing with traveling in general. The whole premise behind my book, The Shy Guy's Guide to Traveling, check out on Amazon.
Yes.
Is to show you that going traveling might be better for you than you think it might be in many different aspects of your life, and how it can help you develop into a better person, really. But this is just about China. So first of all, one thing they might worry about is things like hygiene and health problems.
Absolutely.
Health issues, and it might give the impression that China is getting the eye by an elderly gentleman, that China is a very dirty country.
Yeah.
So have you got anything to say about that off the bat?
Yeah, I can say that's not true. So hygiene, I know, because of the whole virus outbreak, like you said, Michael, there are many people who will be concerned regarding that. From my experience, I'm sure Michael will vouch for the same, there's nothing to worry about. The only thing I'm conscious of here, which I don't do, is drink water from the tap like I can from England. That's the only thing I try to avoid. And the street food, I also avoid that, but that's not because it's not clean, it's just because of a personal issue.
Speaking of hygiene,
yeah.
we've just come across a toilet, and the toilets are a big issue in China.
Yeah.
So we should have a big cheeky butcher's hook.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's show everyone to really illustrate our point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure you can really convey it through video, but this is like a good bathroom as China goes.
This is very good as China goes.
Doesn't smell that bad. It's not real dirty. I mean, it's pretty like rough around the edges and a bit grubby. But we've experienced a lot worse.
Yeah, so in that respect, your bathrooms and your washrooms, they generally are not very clean in China compared to the West. But the most important things in terms of your food, in terms of your drink, I've had no real issue at all. Go out to eat, order food, it's not a problem. Hygiene's not a problem. And in fact, when you're eating food and when you've had food delivered, most restaurants, if not all, give you a pair of gloves to use when you're eating, so as well as some wipes, so that's really not an issue.
As you can see, most public areas are really clean. Right. Now, I've done a lot of traveling in Southeast Asia as well, and there's no comparison really between the streets of China and the streets of those countries.
Okay.
There's way more trash, bad smells, people peeing on the street in Thailand than I've experienced in China.
Okay.
I still love Thailand. It's just a base comparison.
Okay.
Having said that, 9 out of the 10 worst toilets I've ever been to in my life, I've been in China.
Yeah.
It's just facts.
So that's one thing you'll get when you come to China.
Yes, it is true that most public toilets won't be sit-down toilets. There'll be those holes in the ground.
Right, which I like to call squatty potties.
The squatty potties, yes.
But
It's something,
you know,
it's something to get used to, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's something different. And if it was the same as back home, why would you want to come here, right? You're here for the change. That's what.
Although I'm not sure that's the culture shock that people are necessarily after.
Exactly. No, you're right. But
I really want to go to China to experience the sweaty potties. I'm sure everyone is saying.
Hey, when you do use that, it's a different feeling.
It is a different feeling. It is.
And it's all part of the experience. Come on, everything adds up together. So.
And anyway, squatting apparently is better for you if you're doing a number 2.
Yes, better for your
bowels or something like that. Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving swiftly on. Okay, so the wet markets and things like that. Okay. I saw something extraordinary. This term "wet market," we actually don't know where that came. We don't know where that came from because in Chinese, all they're referring to is a fresh food and vegetable market.
Okay.
That's all it is. So when we in the West use this term "wet market," it evokes a certain idea of what it is.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily correspond to reality. All right. So when you hear the word "wet," it already sounds a bit icky.
Yes.
Whereas really, it's just a farmer's market.
That's all it is.
And I'm not about to tell you that China's food, health, and safety standards are as good as they are in the West. However, the large majority of the time, it's fine.
Yes, exactly.
It's perfectly livable. And you don't worry, really.
No, not at all.
Both of us have had jiffy tummies a bit. But you could get that in any country, really. I've had it in Spain.
Okay, there you go. And generally, I guess, when you're eating spicy food and different levels of spices and different dishes combined together, your stomach's going to react a bit.
Yeah, and they have different bacteria here as well.
Yeah.
So when you go to a new country, you always have a sick day, don't you?
Yes, of course.
So that's going to happen. I know some people, in the interest of balance, I know some people have had real problems, like bowel-wise, and
me. In my first trip in China.
Yeah.
So yes, unfortunately, I had diarrhea for 3 weeks. So that was not pleasant. But that's why I believe that was from street food. That's why I've been keeping away from it. That's the only issue I've had, really. Yeah,
street food is a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's been out there for a long time.
Exactly.
And it's really cheap.
Yeah.
And I think it's for people who are really in a rush.
But don't let that put you off. It's simply because I've got something called irritable bowel syndrome. So I've got IBS, so my bowels are a bit strange anyway. So
it's something to keep in mind if you do have problems like that.
Exactly.
But in terms of food in general, that's another problem that somebody might have an issue with. Like, what's the food like?
Okay.
Most of the time it's friggin' fantastic, in my opinion.
Amazing.
Really varied.
Yeah.
Good, fresh,
yeah.
Tasty, loads of spice and flavour. Fish, meat, veggies. Although I would say that if you are vegan or vegetarian, you might struggle.
Yes. Although there are many dishes available without meat, and a popular dish here is tofu. Very popular.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's something.
I think the problem might be, though, if you are vegan, is that even the vegetables are cooked in oil that's been that meat's been cooked in as well.
Good point.
I think a vegan would struggle.
Yes, no,
and unless they made their food all themselves.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any stories about any vegans that are living in China. So I'm sure somebody out there is making use of it and it's okay. But I just have not heard it. So that's one issue people have. But in general, the food is good. And if you want Western food, you can get it very easily.
Absolutely. Even in this small city of Wuhu, there are so many Western restaurants and food places available for you to eat from. It's brilliant. Anytime you feel like you want a Western dish, you can get it straight away. And of course, we can't forget companies like, I know it's cliche, but companies like McDonald's and Burger King. Although that type of food, everyone's had it.
Yeah.
In terms of Western food, that is up there, isn't it, in terms of what people are usually after?
Yes, and and they've got everything.
Everything.
Pizza Hut.
Yes, even that.
Yep.
Many different pizza restaurants, some steakhouses and whatnot. So.
Costa Coffee and Starbucks.
There we go.
Yep.
And that's in this small city, so imagine what the big cities will have.
so there are a couple of problems that people might have. I'll let you take the wheel on this question. What do you think is the biggest, grandest, positive thing about coming to China for anybody who's thinking about it? Give them what's the big selling point?
A new life, a reinvention. You come here to experience something. Well, ideally, if you're coming here to work, you're not only thinking of the work, are you? You're thinking of, right, there's a new country, there's so much to explore, so many things to do, so many things to learn, and of course the culture shock, which is something you want. That's the main selling point. It's essentially you're having a new life, you reinvent yourself, no one knows you're here, there's so many things for you to do, so many things for you to see, so many things for you to eat. Everything is completely new. You are essentially giving yourself a new life. You start from over. You don't have to, but you know what I mean. You're in a new setting, new environment.
Yeah.
It's yours to create for yourself, and you've got the opportunity. Obviously, with everything that's happened, it's easy to be put off, but you can't let obstacles stop you from doing what you want to do. And if it's your dream to come to China,
and
if it was, follow it through.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you did have your eye on China, it might be a really good time to come when everything opens back up again, because there will be a lot of opportunities still.
Yes.
The schools, for example, if you wanted to teach English, which is what we do, they will be desperate for teachers. And so you'll have a whole pool of options with pretty good pay and great benefits all around the country.
Yeah.
And you'll have, the world will be your oyster, basically. If people are feeling like they're put off by China, there'll be fewer people wanting to come as well. So you'll have more options.
Absolutely.
But the real reason why you talk about a new experience, a whole new life.
Yeah.
I think the real reason why you want to do that is to kind of it's very freeing, because it expands the range of what you thought was possible in yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you're confronted with so many new challenges, so many new, you got to cultivate so many more new habits, different kinds of habits. And if you want to learn the language, that's another thing that for me is a benefit. Like,
absolutely.
I was not put off by the fact that not many people in China speak English, really.
Yeah.
I was not put off by that. I thought that was really quite exciting, because it gives you this opportunity to learn a new language.
Exactly.
For native English speakers, we think, we have the lingua franca, so we're not confronted with an opportunity in our normal lives to have to speak another language.
Exactly.
So if that was one of the things you want to do in your life, then coming to China is a great opportunity to do that, because you get plenty of practice in.
Yep.
Because you kind of need it if you want to make your daily life as smooth as possible.
Yep.
If that just means going to the supermarket, getting in a taxi.
Exactly. And as English native speakers, we're so privileged, which is amazing, and it's such a blessing. But the way Michael's just described there, and the way I look at it is, learning Chinese, you look at it as a self-investment. That's what it is. It adds more skills to your repertoire.
Yes.
And anything you can do that you couldn't before is a bonus, right? So you're learning new skills, you're adding more to yourself as a human and your experiences and the qualities you have. It's brilliant. I mean, everything is about persistent hard work, isn't it? Nothing comes easy, especially languages, but that's the fun of it, isn't it? When you learn a new word every day, you set yourself challenges, and then you go out and use them in real practice. It's a good feeling.
You really get that eureka moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you think you're learning it on an app or whatever, or in our lessons at our school, and you're thinking, blimey, am I even taking this in?
Yeah.
And then you find yourself in that situation, all of a sudden the word comes to you that you need.
That's right.
You use it, they understand what you said, and you understand their answer back to you. And when that happens, you're like, yes!
That's it. They understand you've used a new word in real life. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not saying that everything is plain sailing.
Nah.
We're saying that the challenge is worth it.
Yeah, of course.
You will come across problems you'll have to overcome. That's inevitable. But that's the reason you do it.
exactly.
Right? For some reason, if you are thinking about coming to China or traveling at all, you feel like the life you have at the moment is not
Fulfilling?
because I don't want to be too harsh on people who don't travel, because
Right, okay.
it's not for everyone. And coming to China is not for everyone. This country might not be for you.
Right.
You'll have to make that decision based on what you feel.
Yep.
We're just here to make the case for China, if it's on your list.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's different. So you're just having a different input creates different output.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But there's still going to be some friction there. Okay. And not every day is going to be the best day of your life. I would say you have more great days than not.
Oh, absolutely.
But I know I'm the kind of person who hates being in my home country. So I have a particular point of view. I wouldn't say hate. It's a bit harsh. But it's just not. It just doesn't stimulate me.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I can really express myself properly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You need a thrill, don't you? You need to feel alive. You need that feeling of feeling alive.
Like, oh yes. So what will the day bring today?
Yeah. That
you don't often get that experience.
Yeah, that's right.
And going to a new country, definitely. I mean, that's something you do get every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is not necessarily the case for China. It's the case for anything you want to do in life. For me, and some of you guys may look at it the same way, I always look at things when I'm making a decision, as in, I think of it in the present moment and the future. So in the present, do I want it right now? Is it something I'll enjoy right now? And when I made the decision to come to China, I was like, yes, I definitely want to change the life I have right now. And it's something, if I move to China, I know the present will be more enjoyable than the present I currently have. But also, I also think in the future. So for example, if I move to China, if I learn the language, if I do this, looking back, will it add more to me as a person? Right. Yes. And is it something I'll look back on and think, right, I went to China, I did this.
Yeah.
Yes. So when I'm making decisions like that, I like to think in the long term. Is it going to help my growth? Is it going to support my growth? Is it going to provide me with new opportunities? Is it going to give me a life to remember or help me create that life?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at it like that, and it doesn't just have to be China, it's anything you want to do. It may be tough, but once you overcome it, you look back, it'll add more to you as a human being, give you more skills, give you a new sense of confidence, a new aura, so to speak. And it adds more to your qualities, doesn't it? And whether that's China or anything you want to do, obviously in this topic, we're talking about China. Do it, because it's going to, looking back, you're going to grow so much, you're going to add so much more to yourself. You're going to have a good time in the present, but after you finish, you're going to look back and think, I'm glad I did that, that was awesome. And I've learned so many new things.
Well said. So another bugbear or question people might have is, we have this idea in the West that China's this really oppressed country.
Right.
That the state is very involved in people's lives. And as somebody who's who values human freedom very highly, that was something that concerned me before coming.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because when I come here, you realise, oh, yeah, people go about their normal lives, almost like we do, and the state is not like a constant presence in your life. Maybe when you go on a train and you have to deal with the bureaucracy and the paperwork and all that.
Okay, so let's talk about that then. So from my experience, nothing in my normal life where I felt like my space has been invaded. Normal life, I can go wherever I want, supermarkets, malls, restaurants. I don't feel anything at all in terms of the state and being oppressed as such. It's completely normal, like it would be in the UK, except I'm in China. It's a different method of paying, different people, different restaurants. Talking about the trains, so my experience is I'll buy the train ticket on an app. I'll go to the counter. I'll show her the text message with the code. She'll give me the train ticket. I'll get on the train. Someone will walk past, ask to see my passport. That's it, job done.
Right.
So for me, it's been super efficient. I haven't felt anything. And I know many people do have this preconceived idea that, it's you're being watched all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
I haven't had any sense of that myself.
No.
Just living life normally like I would
Yeah.
anywhere else, I hope.
So even if that stuff is going on, it's not a daily part of our experience.
No, not.
Even if it's just for us foreigners. We should go up there. All that other stuff that goes on with the politics is not really part of daily life in China. So it's kind of like there's things that my government does that I'm not happy about, and there's stuff that the American government does that I'm not happy about.
Yeah.
But would I ever say don't visit the UK or don't visit the US because of that? No. It's something to keep aware of.
Yeah.
It's something to know before you go, I think. But and be aware of your privilege as you go. But it's I can easily separate the politics and the normal life.
Yeah.
And that's up to you, I think. I think if you really can't cope with it, you can't demarcate those two things.
Yeah.
Then maybe not bother.
Yeah. See, I, on the other hand, absolutely nothing about politics. I just enjoy my life, try to make each day better, and live it like that. So for me,
but it's good that that's not being part of so much of your life that you have to
it is
really.
nice. Well, I don't have to think about it because it's not present in my life.
Yeah.
So
Some people, I think it's fine. I think it's fine in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with not being totally in tune with it. I think it's a great freedom to have, actually, not to have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Imagine being me. All right. Anyway, thanks very much, Tony.
Pleasure.
As always, a ray of positivity and inspiration and perspiration. I'm getting a bit sweaty, and I feel like
I need a wash. Early.
I need a wash. I've got a bit sweaty. I've got a bit smelly.
Have a wash.
Have a wash. I need a coffee.
Another one.
Yeah, I do.
Get it down here. We'll find somewhere.
Yeah.
Time to get a coffee, guys. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes.
Like,
comment, subscribe. Buy the Shy Guy's Guide to Travelling on Amazon. Available on Kindle and paperback version.
by the way, I will read that whenever you give me a copy.
I don't know why he doesn't just buy it. It's like £2.
There's no Amazon in China. Or if there is...
Kindle.
Kindle, yeah. All right, guys. Remind me to buy his book.
Yeah, tell him.
Kindle.
Tell him. And you buy it as well. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
All the best.